Hello, Landria here. Viewer questions today. Why did Kobe Bryant and his beautiful young daughter die in a tragic helicopter accident? Well, there were several other people also on that fatal flight. I'm going to answer that question for you, so stay tuned. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. I'm going to supply the tools for you to manifest anything because my mission is to raise the frequency of the planet, one light being at a time. All right, so viewer question answered. I get this every once in a while when something tragic happens and there's a death of somebody who seems to be contributing very positively to the planet. Kobe Bryant was one of those people, or so what we know about him, right? Nobody truly knows another person. But let's say these two people, and Kobe's doing amazing things, he's contributing, seems like a good guy, father, all this other stuff, right? Why does this happen? Why would God let this happen? God doesn't let anything happen. We have free will. Everybody leaves the planet. You're going to leave, I'm going to leave, right? So the question is, how are you going to leave and when? And you get to choose how you leave also. Let's say Kobe and his daughter, they're part of a soul group and they were light beings. Don't picture them as they are. And they say, well, I'm going to come to planet Earth and I'm going to show people that they can accomplish their goals. And I'm going to be the voice for that positive, achiever that's going against what the odds. I guess one of his teachers or coaches said he'd never amount to anything. We've heard that before, right? And he proved that person wrong, of course. And he's been a great shining example. He's done amazing things. So he says, well, at a certain point, we agreed to leave because if we stay here after that point, everything in reality on this planet will be different than if we leave. And if we leave, certain things will come to the attention of people. He's going to affect other people's lives because of it. Maybe his own wife who's not meant to be with him and has her own path. He has many reasons to do that. So he and his daughter decide that they'll come here, stay a certain period of time, do some really cool stuff, participate in an amazing family, have a lot of fun, and then we're going to part, company with the planet. Everybody does this. Now, what if they got sick, or right? What if Kobe got sick and had a long, drawn-out illness? He chose to go out quickly with his daughter, probably left their bodies before there was impact. That's usually what happens. Most people that have near-death experiences say that they never experienced pain. They were gone. The soul has a way of protecting itself from going through that horrible experience and pretty much leaves the body and almost becomes an observer of the whole situation. And so they may have said, we would like to go out quickly, dramatically, and when you're on the other side, crashing a helicopter could actually seem pretty cool because we know that there's no real pain and that we don't end, and we don't have those horrible attachments to it like humans do. Oh, it was horrible. Yeah, they're so young. And they have no attachment to anything like that. There's neither good nor bad. It's just all experiences. So they decide, well, we'll both leave together, which means we'll probably have to do something like an accident. Car crash, not cool, right? Involve other people, could be messy. Let's crash in a helicopter. Now, everybody else on that helicopter, of course, was going to exit at that time period too. They all convened, and cause and effect created something to happen so that would play out. And I know this sounds far-fetched for some of you, but I'll bet you most of the people get that. And so why do certain people go back into the building? I know my friend, she knows who she is if she's watching this, her best friend almost didn't go to the top of the World Trade Center. She worked up at the top, and my friend was talking to her and said, don't go into work, don't go in, and thought maybe she hadn't gone in, and found out she did, and of course was one of the first to die. That was a moment in time where there was a decision to be made, and her gut feeling was to go ahead and go into that restaurant at that moment, all right? It was probably her destiny. And so she may have had a choice. Sometimes we have a choice to stay and come back into the body. And other times we have agreements. That's why the near-death experiences, when they go over and they say, you have to go back, In other words, you had a contract in advance. You agreed to do certain things. And so we had this situation, but you're going to go back. And it's sort of a reminder of what has to transpire. Other people say that they've been given a choice. You can stay if you'd like, or you can go back and play this out. And so they're not disrupting the other roles that are playing out on the earth by going back. And so either way, they're not affecting anybody else's destiny or contract. Others have to leave, and others have to stay. All right, so it depends on what you've accomplished up until this point, what you're supposed to accomplish here, and when you're supposed to leave. When you're done, and if you decide to go. And so everything changes from that moment forward for all the other people involved around you, and that may be necessary. So the way you go, I don't know about you, but I don't know if that's so tragic. I mean, there's probably this horrible feeling when you realize you're going down, but I truly believe that those people do leave their bodies before that. That's just been noted so many times by near-death experiences that people are not even in the body and they're not dead yet. So I do believe that they probably went down in sort of a cool way, if you think about it. I mean, like, that's pretty dramatic versus who wants to lay around in a bed wasting away with some disease and being a burden on other people? Well, you're never really a burden, right? Everybody learns from it. And so that's all it is. We act like, oh, they're not supposed to die. Well, yeah, they're supposed to die, but maybe we don't think they're supposed to die at that age, but they know they were supposed to die. And so other people will learn from that. It's been brought to our attention now. He's going to go down as a legend. You know, he's now in the focus again, not that he wasn't always. And same thing with his daughter. Why so young? Well, who knows what her contract is. We don't know we don't even know our own individual contracts. But some of us know if we're supposed to stay here or not, and almost everybody has a choice. Almost everybody has a choice, you know, to leave or stay. And some people have to stay. So do your best here, because if you had a contract and you have a short period of time and something like that happens, your time is up. And so if you didn't complete your mission, you will have to come back. But there was a reason for you to have to leave the planet at that certain time, because we are all a balance of frequencies on here. And every time somebody leaves or comes in, there is a shift in the balance of frequencies, whether it's high or low. All right, and certain things have to play out. And you would say, well, Kobe and his daughter were high frequencies. Right, so maybe they're going to complete their missions on the other side and be more powerful over there. And that's amazing, because they're in an amazing space right now. There's no pain. They don't even feel loss. Only the humans here feel the loss. So every time you think about a family member or friend or whatever, think about they're over there going, oh my gosh, you know, you're going to go, and this is what you're doing, wasting your time worrying about me. I'm over here having a blast. I remember my aunt, she was going in for a really, really critical life or death operation, and she was really worried the night before. Well, my grandma, who was her mom, my aunt, it was her mom, had passed and was on the other side. She had, my aunt had a dream, and she saw my grandma in a garden. My grandma was an amazing gardener, and she said, my aunt's not really into this stuff, but she knew that how real this was, and she said, oh my God, Mom! And my grandma turns around and said, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. You have to go back. And she looked at my aunt, and she wasn't like even happy to see her, because it's like, because they don't miss anybody, because they're always, you know, they're with us all the time. We're one beautiful, amazing energy. When you're always feeling happy, there's nothing to miss anything, right? It's like, I'm having a great time. You'll be here soon enough, do your job. So she looks at my aunt and says, you're going to be fine. Don't worry. You need to go back right now. In other words, my aunt, probably because she was so worried, crossed over into that space. And of course, my grandma, who's one of my guardians, she's been amazing, and given me a lot of signs, and so was told she was going to be okay. And my aunt then, of course, relaxed, and of course, the operation was okay. And my aunt has been here for many years and doing very well. So I want you to understand that, as you know, both my parents, my brother, my cousin, my animals, they're all passed away in a very short period of time from one another. And I don't think of them as really gone. Do I miss them? Of course. But I know that this is such a temporary experience. And I know they all went very quickly. Thank goodness. Who wants to hang around, right? And suffering has its own purpose too. But you can change anything. You can heal yourself. You don't ever have to be sick. And that's part of your journey too. Sometimes illness is purposeful. Sometimes illness is what people have to go through so that others learn and that they learn. So this is why we try to put logic on things and name it good and bad. And none of us knows what each other's contract is, or what their purpose is, or what their choices are, or what they're supposed to learn. And as horrible some of these things appear to be, especially abuses and that, all of that can end. And we must participate in the compassion and forgiveness of all of that. So what appears to be negative is our involvement out of it. Not naming it, not blaming, not finding fault in other. We're so critical of one another, right? And then people die, and then we waste our time here when we could be doing amazing things in their name, in their memory, right? Because they're always with you. They hear you all the time. They always hear you. Don't be calling on them all the time. They got stuff to do. Not that they're not everywhere at the same time. But don't stress out. The last thing that they want is us to be very sad. And when you know that they're amazing, you talk to them and you're like, thank you for being in my life. Thank you so much for the lessons you taught me, for all you've given. They're beautiful, amazing people. Damn, you're having fun. And who knows what they're off doing. They could be in other bodies and still on the other side. Now, I want you to remember this. We're going to have another discussion about this. You are in your body and you're on the other side too. Because people say, well, maybe they're not over there. They're in another body. They're always over there, okay? It's just the last impression of what you were is what you're going to see over there. And that's all part of what we create and that they create too, right? Because you're not this body, but you'll appear to be this body on the other side. A lot younger and fit and skinny, right? Whatever you want. So when my mom passed over, she was skinny and her hair was thick and she looked beautiful. And I realized that's what was happening. So everything is a hologram. We're just energy. We're light beings. We don't have any material existence to us. So we're projecting everything. Everything's a projection, including what's over there and including what they want you to see if they ever do appear to you. Angels, everything, all projections. That's why when somebody goes over and they see Jesus, and somebody else goes over and sees, I don't know, some other prophet or Buddha or another, some other beautiful prophet or, I don't know, India. I don't know all the prophets, but some beautiful, amazing prophets that were here that taught us whatever one that you have in your mind that you are attached to or that you think, that is beautiful is what will appear. This is all an illusion and it passes over to the other side. So you're over there right now. Your higher self is there, always contributing to this. You can call on your higher self. You can call on others. And even if they have other lives going on at the same time, which they do, you can still call on them as a higher self over there. And by the way, I just want you to remember something. Just because somebody's dead doesn't mean they have all the answers, all right? You don't become enlightened just because you're dead. So if somebody did not accomplish that here, they are going over to the other side. They're still learning over there. And some of them may not be back in bodies. They may have to have a period of time, resting time, and learning there too. So call on your higher angels and your higher self when you need answers. Bless all those who passed over. They're not separate from us. We're going to be right on their tail, and don't ever call anybody old because it's going to be you in a flash, right? An old person. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, we're all going to be there if we're lucky enough, right? Enjoy your time. Forget the age thing. Forget death. It's just transitioning. We're going to just create and become new and amazing things. Celebrate it. Can we just switch this whole human thing of suffering? You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful. Oh, I have a class coming up. It is, I think it's February 22nd, called Activate Perfect Love. It's a 3-hour webinar, and use Manifest Love is the code. If you miss the webinar and you purchase it, it's only $39.95. Manifest Love gives you 10% discount. you get the replay, and I will post the replay for purchase after the live webinar. So you can go in there right now, sign up, do the live webinar. If you miss it, you get the replay. If you miss all of it, you can purchase it once it's the replay. And same with all my other webinars on there. Breakthrough Fear is a 5-star course that is getting amazing results. You can go in there and use Inspiration with Landria for a huge discount. A huge discount. I think it's 25% off. All right? No excuses. Go get the tools. Subscribe. I'm supposed to do that now, right? Subscribe, please. Share the videos. Let's raise the frequency of the planet. One light being at a time. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.